Hello everyone, I am Geethanjali, Assistant Professor, Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. So today I will discuss about phases of compiler. So before going to the topic, first of all we know what is compiler and what is phases. So first of all, compiler. So what is compiler? Compiler is used to transfer the high level language into the low level language. So for that purpose we are using the compiler. So while converting high level language to the low level language, this compiler uses different phases. By using these different phases, the compiler will transfer high level language to the low level language. And coming to the phase. So phase is used to it it is an operation. So it takes the source program as input in one representation and it converts the output into another representation. So while coming to the phases of compiler, we have 6 phases. So let's see. Lexical analyzer, second one, syntax analyzer, third one, semantic analyzer, fourth one, intermediate code generator, and next one, code optimizer, and next, target code generator, and last one, mission code. So these are the different phases of compiler. So the first one is lexical analyzer. So this lexical analyzer will take the input from source program. Okay. So this lexical analyzer will take the input as source code and it will generate the output as token. So this lexical analyzer is also called as scanner. So this lexical analyzer is also called as scanner. Why we are calling lexical analyzer as scanner means it will take the input as source program and this from this source program it will generate tokens. Before generating the tokens, it will scan every every word in the source program. So after reading the uh, input from the source code, it will arrange a meaningful sequences that is called as lexemes. So this every lexeme can generate a token. So that is the role of lexical analyzer. So it will take the source program as input. While we are taking the source program as input, it will takes as lexemes. Every word in the source code, it will takes as lexeme and every lexeme can generate the output as token. So that's why we are calling lexical analyzer as scanner. Okay. So this token can be represented, token name, comma, attribute value. So this token can be represented by using two values. One is token name and another thing is attribute value. Let's see an example. So through this example, we can know how the each phase can translate source program into the mission code. So let's take an example. Position equals to initial plus rate into 60. So this is an example. So with this example, how the lexical analyzer takes as lexemes and how it will generate the tokens. So let's see. So here the lexemes and the tokens. So lexical analyzer reads the lexemes and it will generate the tokens. So first lexeme, position, and next one equals to operator, next one initial, next one plus operator, next rate, next star multiplication operator, and last one 60. So these are the lexemes. So these lexemes can be generated into tokens. How it will transfer from lexeme to tokens? So here identifier. So position is an identifier. So lexeme as position and for this token as identifier. So identifier 1 and symbols as it is, and next one identifier 2. Next as it is operator. Next another thing is identifier 3 and star, and last one 60 or number. So we can make it as number also. Okay. So likewise the lexical analyzer will takes the lexemes and it will transfer these lexemes into the tokens. So this is the lexical analyzer role. Next coming to the syntax analyzer. So the syntax analyzer will takes the input from the lexical analyzer. Whatever the lexical analyzer generates the tokens as output, that is the input for syntax analyzer. So the syntax analyzer takes the input as tokens and it will generate output as parse tree. So the syntax analyzer is also called as parser. So the syntax analyzer is also called as parser. Why we are calling as a syntax analyzer as parser means, so whatever the tokens taking as input for the syntax analyzer, it takes those tokens and it will generate a parse tree. So whatever the lexemes are tokens, ID1, ID2, ID3 and different operators. So it can be represented like ID1 equals to ID2 plus ID3 star and 60. So this is the output of lexical analyzer. It will take the syntax analyzer as input and it will generate parse tree for this tokens. So how it will generate? First operator as equals to and ID1, next one plus operator, next for plus operator left side is identifier 2 and right side again one more operator is there, star. For star operator left side ID3 and right side 60. So this is the parse tree generated by the syntax analyzer. So this syntax analyzer, whatever the parse tree generated, that is the input for semantic analyzer. So the semantic analyzer will take the input as parse tree and it will generate modified parse tree. So in this semantic analyzer, it will take the parse tree as input and it will generate modified parse tree. So the semantic analyzer, what it will do? So it will check the meaning of the statements or meaning of the expressions. So whether the expressions or the whether the identifiers are meaningfully represented or not, or the given expression is meaningfully correct or not. So that is the role of semantic analyzer. So and another thing, the semantic analyzer will check the type information. Type information. So it will check the type information of identifiers. So it will check the identifiers type and it will store the type of identifiers in it. So that is the meaning of semantic analyzer. The next one, intermediate code generator. It will take the identifier modified parse tree. So that is modified parse tree, nothing but whatever the syntax analyzer generated. So that is the parse tree. So like id2 and plus into operator id3 and 60. So this is the parse tree. So semantic analyzer generates modified parse tree. So what it means? It will check the type information, right? So int to float. It will check the type information of integers. So that is 60. So now we are converting this integer data type to float data type. So that is, before parse tree contains only id3 and 60. Now it will contain id3, the integer converted into the float. So this is the modified parse tree. So that is the semantic analyzer role. Next one, intermediate code generator. So it will take the modified parse tree as input and it will generate. So till now we worked with the linear graphical representation, that is non-linear representation. So whatever the expressions or whatever the parse trees we are generated, so that is the input for the intermediate code generator and it will transfer a linear representation. So before it is a tree representation. So the intermediate code generator will modify this parse tree, that is tree representation, into linear representation. So what it means? So id1 equals to id2 plus id3 into 60. So this is the modified parse tree expression. So now this can be represented in a linear format. So that is the intermediate code generator. So this code generator is also called as is in the representation in the form of three address code. So what is this three address code? So three address code can be represented in two ways. One is quadruples and triples. So by using these two formats, we are using the three address code. So what is three address code means? Let's see. So here, this is the linear representation of the given parse tree, and now this can be represented by using the three address code. So three address code, nothing but we are using the extra variables. So to store the variable values. So T3 is assigned to, that is 60, and T1. Next T2 equals to id3 into T1. So already T1 is storing the value of 60. So now in place of 60 we are replacing T1. So that is temporary variable. So next T3 equals to id2 plus, so this can be stored in the T2 value, right? So this result is stored in T2. So we can replace this entire id3 into 60 as T2. Next, final one, id1 equals to T3. So now this entire value is stored in T3. Okay, so that T3 is assigned to id1. Whatever the result of this 3, id2 plus id3 star 60, now we are storing into id1. So this is the linear representation of given parse tree. So that is the role of intermediate code generator. Next one, code optimizer. So what is code optimizer? Whatever the code, intermediate code generator generates these 4 lines of code. These 4 lines of code we have to reduce. So that is the role of code optimizer. So code optimizer is used to reduce the number of lines and improves the efficiency. So it takes the less space and less memory. So that is the main aim of code optimizer. It will optimize the code. It will reduce the number of lines. So how it will reduce? By using these statements. So instead of writing these 4 lines, we can reduce 2 lines. These 4 lines is reduced into 2 lines. How we can write? So T1 equals to ID3 into 60. So now we are storing these 2 variables into one temporary variable, and ID1 equals to ID2 plus T1. So instead of writing 4 lines, we are written in 2 lines itself. So we reduced the number of lines. So here we written 4 lines. So by using code optimizer, we reduced into 2 lines. So that is the role of code optimizer. Next one, target code generator. So what is this target code generator role? So whatever optimizer code generated by the code optimizer, that will take the input as target code generator, and it will generates the output as mission code. So that is the main role it plays. So whatever the source code we are taking as input for the lexical analyzer, that will transferred into the mission code. So that is ultimate goal of compiler. So it will generate high level language to the low level language. So coming to the target code generator. So this target code generator can be represented in terms of mission instructions. Mission instructions. So this mission instructions, how it will represent means, so by using move, mul, add, sub. So by using these keywords and the registers R1, R2, R3. By using these terms, we can represent the mission instructions. So that is the role of target code generator. So how it will generate means, so first one, move R1 comma ID3. So we are moving ID3 into R1 register. So that is the meaning of move R1 comma ID3. Next one, mul, perform multiplication operation. So that is mul ID R1 comma hash 60. So this ID3 is multiplying with 60. So ID3 is already moved to R1. So now R1 is multiplying with value 60. So that is the meaning of this instruction. Next, move R2 comma ID2. So now ID2 is moved to R2. Next operation we have to perform addition. So that is add R2 comma R1. So now we have to perform addition operation for ID2 and this 2 variables. So that is R2 comma R1. Again finally move ID R1 comma ID1. So now we are storing this ID1 into R1. So the entire result is storing into the R1 register. So that is the role of target code generator. These instructions we are calling as mission instructions. Mission instructions. So after this, it will generate the mission code. That is, by using this mission instruction, it will generate the mission code, that is zeros and ones. So this mission code contains only zeros and ones values. So that is the role of compiler or phases of compiler. So from source code to mission code. So it will take the source code as input and it will generate the mission code. So that is the ultimate goal of compiler. So it will generate high level language into the low level language. Apart from this 5 or 6 phases, one more 2 phases are so there. So that is error handler and symbol table. So this symbol table will connect it to the all the phases. Same error handler also will connect to all the phases in the compiler. So what is the purpose of this error handler and symbol table? Means the symbol table will stores the values, whatever it is, a data structure to store the data. So this symbol table contains the entire information about the all the phases in the compiler. So that is the purpose of symbol table. It contains names and types of identifiers whatever used in the different phases. Next, coming to the error handler. So this error handler is used as to handle the errors, whatever. If in case lexical analyzer finds any errors during it reads the lexemes, then it will notifies to the error handler. This error handler will handle those errors and it will come back to the lexical analyzer. It's sent to the lexical analyzer. Same way in all the phases, whenever the phase uh, find any errors, it will generate to the error handler. So this error handler handle those errors and modifies those errors, and it will send back to the a particular phase. So that is the role of error handler. And so this entire 6 phases can be divided into 2 parts. One is analysis phase, and the remaining these 3 phases we are calling as synthesis phase. So this analysis phase contains lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer. So this phase is also called as mission independent. The synthesis phase contains intermediate code generator, code optimizer, and target code generator. This is mission dependent. So phases divided into 2 things. One is analysis phase and synthesis phase. So in analysis phase, 3 is divided into this analysis phase and the remaining 3 is related to synthesis phase. So this is the phases of compiler. So each and every role or each and every analyzer is important to convert the high level language into the low level language. So while we are compiling the program, it may be a C program or some other language program. So the compiler, whenever we are compiling that program, the compiler internally perform these 6 phases, then only it will convert high level language into the low level language. That is, whatever we are giving the source code into the mission understandable language. So that is the main goal of compiler. Thank you.